So today's empowerment card is the clarity card, and this one says, banish the fog of illusion, open your eyes to the truth. Remember the perfection of who you are. And the first thing I was drawn to is the green in this card. And the green connects to, well, in our chakras, the heart chakra is the green one. And I was like thinking about, okay, so in order to get clarity, I feel like on things, it's really helpful to connect back to our heart and the things that we love to do and what feels authentic to like our soul at a soul level. And because sometimes we can get so caught up in like our day to day and the things that we need to do and just like the routines and getting things done that we can stray away from the things that we really love. And I feel like that is especially like if you're at a job that you aren't like super fond of and it's just like not where you feel like you should be. Sometimes, when we keep making those decisions, and sometimes we can get further and further every single day, further away from the things that we truly love. And I've definitely been there before. Like I've been in places, situations, environments, at jobs, around other people where it just was not connecting to my soul. So I feel like in order to get clarity on what you should be doing, you need to connect back to your heart, what you love and what you're passionate about, and also how much you love and care for yourself. Because I feel like obviously everything I talk about here is about your authenticity and being authentic to who you truly are. You have to understand who you are and you need to get to know yourself. You need to ask yourself questions, figure out the things you like and don't like. And, being in situations, I've learned this sometimes the hard way of being in situations that I didn't like in order to figure out the things that I did like, and to be around people that I didn't really care about to figure out the people that I would care about and the people that I would want to be around. So connect back to your heart in any way that you can, because life can become monotonous and a little bit unfun if we connect from our heart and our drive. If we are not really connected to the things we care about, we can find ourselves living a life that we aren't happy with. And it could be a year, 2, 5 years, 10 years down the line. And we can just notice how completely unhappy we are with what we're doing, the way that we think about ourselves and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, everything that happened with me last year was what sprouted this channel, and just being like, I have wanted to do this for so long and I hadn't, and I kept telling myself I couldn't for some reason. And which is also that also leads me into my next note. And it says on this card, banish the fog of illusion. So sometimes I feel like we can create those fears, create those limitations, and put illusions up in front of us that don't really exist. Like I was telling myself, oh, I couldn't make a YouTube channel. Like who would care to watch? Like y'all are watching. So there were so many things that I was telling myself that obviously weren't true. And they were just rooted in fear. And I feel like today, with this clarity card, it might be a good day to try to remove any illusions, to see if there's anything holding you back. Sometimes I can figure that out for myself, just to give a little piece of advice, is that I will think about something I want to do and think about all of the thoughts that I have about that thing. And if I tell myself, you know what, maybe people wouldn't care about it, maybe this would be a waste, maybe, it actually wouldn't turn out the way that I think in my head, and all of these things, and removing them, figuring out where they came from, and removing them, and also realizing that those are things that I'm telling myself. They're not actually things that people are telling me. I was so afraid to make even jewelry for so long, and because I was like, no one's gonna buy this, no one's gonna care about this, blah blah blah, they're not gonna care at this price point and all of that stuff. But the right people will always care about what you have to say, what you have to offer. So just keep living in the clarity of what makes sense for you, and removing any illusions along the way, any fears, any bits of unhappiness that you find you're keeping yourself in a box. Because I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of stuff psychologically that goes into that, of why we think we might not be deserving of something, or why we want to keep ourselves small. So I feel like there's a lot that goes into that, but those things can kind of keep you away from doing what you really love. And whether that is in the way that you dress, whether you think something is appropriate for a certain age, you think that you're past that age, and you tell yourself that you can't wear that certain thing, nobody is saying that. You're telling that to yourself. And, you know, sometimes I feel like even like online with models, like it can seem like that piece of clothing is only made for that type of person, but you can wear whatever you want. And, you know, that you have to remove that illusion, especially if it's something that you really want to do or something that you really want to wear. You know, if they make it in your size and it fits and you like it, that's great. That's all that matters. And also, like, if it's a certain thing that you want to eat, like in the morning, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, I could just have spaghetti in the morning. I could have spaghetti for breakfast right now. Like, I could make myself a sandwich, even though it's 10 in the morning. Because, like, who says what certain things you can have for breakfast and what things you can't? Like, and I remember growing up, there were times that we would have, like, breakfast for dinner, and we would have, like, pancakes and eggs and stuff for dinner. And, you know, it just reminded me of the fact that there are no barriers, there are no limitations unless we make them for ourselves. But I also wrote that, like, yes, you can eat what you want in your life, but just, like, monitor your health and also be aware of, like, your own things. Like, if you need to monitor your salt, or if you need to monitor your dairy or your sugar intake, like, because I need to monitor my salt and that kind of stuff. And I'm almost at the level of having high cholesterol. So that is something that I need to pay attention to. But also, you know, keeping in mind all that stuff and balancing and doing things in moderation, you know, just for your health and to keep yourself healthy. Also know that you can, again, dress however you want. You can eat things at certain times in the day. Like, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, not lunchtime yet and you're hungry. Like, sometimes that was something that I said to myself. I would be like, okay, like, I'm hungry, but it's not lunchtime yet. Like, if I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. Like, we sometimes set these limitations for ourselves, that we need to do something at a certain time, that we need to eat something at a certain time, that we need to wear something, you know, as long as there's not a dress code, like at a certain place, or, you know, we need to be dressing a certain way. But, you know, if there's something that you want to do and you're afraid to stand out or to break those unspoken, you know, rules, remember that those illusions are just illusions. They're not real. They're not fact. And remember to do what you love anyway. So remove that barrier, whatever it is that you might be putting up, or, you know, just society, like societal things that kind of just keep us unhappy. You can break those things, and again, go through them, whatever you are holding yourself back from, too. Recognize that and try to figure out, like, okay, does that actually make sense? Like, is that actually for my health, or like for my well-being, or is that just something made up that I told myself I couldn't do? So do that, and also remember to connect back to what feels right in your heart and go from there. If it comes from your heart, it's right for you. If it is something that, you know, you feel called to do, if it's something that feels honest and true for you, go for it. In any way, in any capacity. It could be a hobby. If you really want to, you know, become like a doll maker or whatever, just for an example, go ahead and do that. Like, learn about it, figure out how you can make dolls. And I think dolls are so cool. I don't really see them much anymore. I was just thinking about the movie Annabelle. But yeah, do whatever you love to do. Even if it's just a hobby, even if it's just like something that you enjoy, that isn't really for anybody else, keep doing it. You know, whatever feels right for you. I've always felt called to, like, share a lot of my experiences and just like my thoughts and stuff like that, but I wanted to do it in a packaged way and in a polished way. So that is why I'm here. So I hope that was helpful for you guys, to, you know, whoever needed it, to connect back to your heart. I feel like that is where, you know, all of our greatest, most aligned decisions come from. You know, obviously, like, balancing heart with head and all of that good stuff. And also, like, when we have those things that we want to do, how we can, like, think and actually bring them down into reality. So yeah, that was it for today. That was it for today's message. And I will be back tomorrow with another empowerment message. Also, a video. Tomorrow's Monday night. And I'm trying to think of the name of my video. I am recording it after this. And it is about certain things that people can say to us that, you know, we can try really, really hard for them not to affect us in a certain way, and just to not be upset about what other people say to us. But, you know, sometimes it is not so easy. But I'm also going to give my tips to not let them affect you so much, because sometimes there have been times where I've just like ruminated on those things and I've really let them get to me. And again, I've strayed away from what I knew was right about myself, and I listened more into what they were saying, and just strayed far. Again, it disrupted me, and it made me very unclear about what I was actually here and what I was actually doing here for, and what I was doing. But yeah, that is tomorrow's video, and I'm going to record that one after this one. But I hope this one was helpful, and I will be back again tomorrow. 2 videos every single day. I'm giving empowerment messages as well, so I hope they find you. I hope they help you in some way, and I hope you stick around. Bye for now.